Hello everybody and welcome. Now it is springtime and gardens are overflowing with produce, so let's use that to our advantage and make a wonderful little dish, a roasted beet salad. So the theme for today's recipe is to play it simple and let our fresh ingredients really carry the flavor of the dish. So we want to find some really good beets as well as everything else that we're going to be using. I'm going to put a detailed ingredient list in the description down below if you would like to follow along at home. Of course, I encourage you to do that and to experiment with your own take on this recipe. Our basic ingredient list for today will be beets, carrots, red potatoes, green onions, an herbal blend. I have oregano and basil, some pea shoots, a lemon, and some cashews. These cashews I have been soaking for about 4 hours. You want them to soak for about 3 hours. We're gonna use them for the sauce in the salad. The recipe is very straightforward. Chop up our ingredients, roast them off in the oven. We are also going to slice up our red potatoes and make some potato chips, so feel free to repurpose that part of the recipe for your everyday use. It's not only going to be delicious, it's also going to be visually stunning. Something to share with family and friends for sure. I can't wait to get started, so let's just dive right in. The first order of business is going to be to clean up our root vegetables that we are going to roast. Now the key to roasting anything, and especially when we're doing different vegetables, is to make sure that they're chopped around the same size. That's gonna ensure proper cook time. What I also love about this dish, since we're highlighting the ingredients, we want people to know what it is that they're biting into, so make it look like a carrot whenever you're chopping it up. Beets and the carrots are all chopped up. Let's add a little bit of olive oil to it. We'll season with a little bit of salt and pepper. I like to season before I'm roasting because the salt's actually going to help bring out some of the moisture in the vegetables. Get them a little toss. And we'll do carrots up here. Time for the beets. We'll put them over here. Now, the oven's been preheated to 350. We're gonna bake them for about 30 to 45 minutes. We basically just wanna stick a fork into the beet all the way through. We'll know it's done. Here we go. While those are roasting off, let's go ahead and prepare our potatoes. Give them a good scrub and wash. We wanna use the skins on the potatoes. You can use a knife, but I have a mandolin and this is the job for it. This is great, and of course, this would be a great potato chip, but since we're doing a salad, let's change it up just a little bit. Taking my knife, I'm gonna cut lengthwise to kind of create these designs. Add some oil. We're gonna do olive oil for this batch. And again, I'm gonna season with a little bit of salt just to help bring out the moisture and thoroughly incorporate. Have a new sheet pan, parchment paper, olive oil, and I'm gonna start to lay these down, giving a decent amount of space in between them. I'm gonna throw these into the same oven bottom rack for about 20 to 25 minutes. We'll check in on them too. Everything's roasting off in the oven. Good time to make our cashew sauce. This is a lot of fun. This is a 1.5 cups of raw, unsalted, uncashews that have been soaking for about 4.5 hours now. Let's go ahead and add that to our blender. And to that, we need to add the juice of half a lemon. So we'll do that. Little zing zing. And then water, we're looking for how much it needs. I'm going to go for about 1/3 cup. Let's see how we do. It's nice, thick, and creamy. I'm just going to scrape the sides. You want to get it to the point where it is just spinning in the blender. That's a really good sign. And that's done in exactly where we want it. Okay. I don't know if you can get a good shot of that or not, but looks like it's a great consistency, nice and thick. Wonderful. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of salt. Just a pinch of salt. A little sprinkle of black pepper. It's never a bad thing. I have some green onions here that we also got from the farm. We'll add a little bit of green onion. This is about a tablespoon. And then from the garden, I have some oregano and some basil, just little leaves. And without bruising, I just want to thinly slice. It's just great to add the herbal component to it, which just throw it in. And then we'll mix it all together. And look at that. This is a great little sauce that we're going to be able to use. It's got quite a bit of flavor, and it's vegan. We'll just set this to the side, and let's come back and check on the vegetables. Starting to get a little coloration on the potatoes. They're going to need a little bit more time. And the vegetables are looking great right now. But we just pulled the potato chips out of the oven. A couple of them maybe saw a little bit too much heat, but you know what? We're not going to let it bother us. I'm going to hit it with a little bit of salt right when you take it out of the oven. And secret ingredient, we're going to use some rice seasoning or Furikake. I believe that I'm pronouncing that correctly. It's delicious. It's going to add just a little bit of extra umami. Homemade potato chips. Just like that. Well, the beets are done. So are the carrots. All of our roasted vegetables are done, and they look fantastic. I'm going to add them all together. They all get the same bed. We do want to add another secret weapon, and that's going to be this fire cider. If you'd like to make your own fire cider, I have a video up here that will show you how to do it. This is a great thing to have laying around the house, and it's a great dressing for salads. So I'm going to add about a tablespoon of this to our warm veg. We're going to kind of mix it all up. And now that beet is just going to start to stain some of the other vegetables. It's going to look great on the plate. Now comes my favorite part, plating. What we want to do is set a little layer down of our cashew cream sauce that we had made. So I'm going to kind of off onto one side, create a little mound. And then with the spatula, create a little runway for our vegetables. And we're just going to start placing them down. Great, and then in between each layer, I'm going to take and add a little potato chip where I can. And then finally, I have these little pea shoots. I'm just going to add a few of those on top. And we're done. We have a roasted beet and carrot salad. We really focused on getting great quality ingredients, and that flavor is really going to shine through as we're highlighting those ingredients. And anytime you're cooking, your food will only ever be as good as the ingredients that you put into the recipe. And I'm happy to say that we got some really quality stuff for today's recipe, and we really showcased it in the best way possible. I invite you to go down to your farmer's market, talk to your farmers, or grow your own food, see what type of wonderful things that you can grab from the earth during this very bountiful season. So from my kitchen to yours, happy cooking everybody, and enjoy the springtime.